What is up, YouTube? It's Mitchell 30 again with the 1903A4, excuse me, 1903A4 update. If you guys have been watching my videos, you've kind of seen my progress on building a 1903A4, and I think I'm finally completed with it. Since the last video, I've done quite a few things to it. A couple things. If you've noticed, the stock is much darker and more of a reddish color, and also the bolts, all the rings and everything are parkerized. I went ahead and zinc parkerized the scope mount, the rings, the bolt, the extractor, and the fore end rings and all that stuff. I parkerized with zinc phosphate parkerizing from Brownells. It really wasn't all that hard to do. Just make sure you got to clean up and prep everything. But the reason I ended up restaining the stock is because I ended up cracking it because I'm an idiot. I was really upset with myself. I bent it. I'll kind of show you what I did, but anyways, that's why I refinished the stock. But it actually turned out really good. I'm happy with it. It's a dark brownish red, and for comparison, behind it, that's an actual 1903A3 Smith Corona from World War II, and it's got that kind of reddish sheen to it. So I was trying to mimic that. This one came out definitely darker and not as shiny, which I'm totally cool with. But yeah, if you guys have been watching my videos, you kind of know that this is a Smith Corona receiver that I got sporterized, and it was drilled and tapped. I got the Redfield mount for it. And I got the vertical split rings mounted on there as a Weaver K2.560C fine crosshairs. Here's my turned down A4 bolt that I kind of turned down myself, and I parked the bolt, and there's the notch I cut out for the bolt handle. It doesn't look exactly like a real 1903 A4, but hey, it works. So there's that. Here's kind of how the rings turned out with that zinc phosphate parkerizing. And I think it turned out actually pretty good. It is wearing a Criterion barrel, obviously chambered in 30-06. Really good gun, guys. I enjoyed it a lot, but like I said, I ended up, let me move this bayonet so I don't scratch anything. I ended up cracking the stock on it, which I was really upset with myself. So that's why I sanded the whole thing down and stained it a different color because I had to glue the stock. But if you can see right here, that's where that crack was. I actually cracked it trying to put a cartouche stamp on the other side, and I didn't have it flat, and it twisted the stock and put a small crack in it right here. So what I had to do is I sanded everything down on the stock, and I put some wood in there and split that crack open and put some epoxy on the inside, and then reclamped it down. And it's definitely it's solid, but you can still see where the crack was, just because the stain for some reason turned the glue like a orangish color. Oh well, it is what it is. Gives a character, I guess. But the cartouche I was talking about that I stamped on there, I'm not trying to fool anybody with this, guys. Like I said, this is not a real 1903 A4 from World War II, but however, I do want to make it look correct, and if anybody ever wants to buy one or buy this from me, or which I highly doubt I'm ever going to sell it, but if that ever comes down the road, I'm going to tell them it's not a real 1903 A4. It's something I built. But there's the cartouche I put in there. Turned out all right. It's a FJA Springfield Armory stamp. I got that off of eBay. There's a guy selling cartouche stamps on eBay. So I was like, hey, what the heck? I'll give it a try. Make it look more authentic. And it turned out pretty well. But yeah, the first time I did that, I smashed it right here, and the stock wasn't level, and I put that small hairline crack in the stock. Oh man, that upset me. So I started from square one again. But I think it actually turned out better than what it looked like before with everything I've done to it. But yeah, this is kind of the final product, guys, with the zinc parkerizing, zinc phosphate parkerizing, the Redfield mounts and rings, or mountain rings, the zinc parkerized rings and bolt and all that stuff. Turned out pretty good. I'm proud of it. It looks awesome to me. Let me know what you guys think. And if there's something else you guys are like, hey, try this to it, or this is what I did with mine, let me know, and I'll see if I can do that. But yeah, kind of there's the finished product, guys. That's the 1903 A4 build, built off a Smith Corona receiver that was drilled and tapped. Wearing that Criterion barrel. The stock is a Numerich reproduction C stock that took a whole bunch of fitting and sanding and all that stuff to get completed. But this is kind of my finished product. This is probably gonna, I know I said this in the last video, but this is my final video on it, unless you see me out shooting or making a shooting video. But that's it, guys. There it is. Final product. I really like the contrast of the zinc parkerizing. It's not nearly as dark as magnesium parkerizing. It's got a light gray. Man, and I really like that color. That just makes things pop, in my opinion. But yeah, here's the Smith Corona 1903 A3. This one was made in 1943, I believe. And it's all Smith Corona parts. This is kind of my collectible. I don't shoot it very much, but it's a really neat piece of history. So that's that guy. That one's got the kind of the greenish colored parking on the receiver, which is pretty cool. And this one's whoever owned this before sanded down and kind of got rid of the cartouches. You can still see a cartouche in the FJA right there, kind of, but it's very faint because it's been sanded. I don't know who did that, but it looks good. It still looks good. But yeah, that's that guy. And here's the final 1903 A4 build, guys. Hope you like it. Any questions, comments, concerns, go ahead and let me know. And we'll go from there. All right, cool. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.